Hi everybody, my name's Emily and I'm from the Youth and Teen Services Department at Fayetteville Public Library. And this is Fayetteville Reads, a program in which we've asked local teachers and librarians to talk about their favorite books, either from when they were younger or from when they were a teen. This Fayetteville Reads video is intended for anybody 6th grade and up. Fayetteville Reads is a part of our 2020 summer reading program. If you're interested in signing up, visit faylib.org/src or talk to one of your librarians. If you want to know more about upcoming events, visit faylib.org/calendar. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about one of my all-time favorite series as a teen and even as an adult, called The Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. This series is ongoing and is about to get its 3rd screen adaptation. Now, this series is actually split up into 4 almost incoming 5 separate series, and each series has at least 3 books in it, and they're all connected through time and through family trees. So characters that you'll see in some of the series set earlier in time will actually either show up later or their descendants will show up. The first series that set off the Shadowhunter Chronicles is called The Mortal Instruments. The Mortal Instruments follows a girl named Clary who lives in New York City. She's 16 years old, and she happens upon this world called the Shadow World, which includes vampires and werewolves and fairies and warlocks and demons, and these people called Shadowhunters who are descendants of Nephilim or angels. She meets a Shadowhunter named Jace and ends up questioning her origins, and her entire world is changed, and she ends up pulling in her best friend Simon, and they encounter this entirely new side of the world that they have never experienced before. City of Bones has been adapted twice, once into a movie in 2012, I believe, and then once again by Freeform as a TV show. Both of these adaptations were not good. But if you're interested in the story and you're not interested enough to necessarily try and read the book, you could start with one of those to see if it piques your interest. The book's always better though. The second series in the Shadowhunter Chronicles is called The Infernal Devices. The first book in the series, called Clockwork Angel, follows Tessa Gray as she travels from her home in America to London to visit her brother. And when she gets there, she's kidnapped by 2 very ugly female warlocks who uncover this power within her that she can shapeshift into other people as long as she has an item of their own. Now, at first, this is really painful for Tessa, but then when she gets rescued by a Shadowhunter named Will, she discovers a bunch of different things about her family heritage and about the world that she lives in, and she begins to question everything that she knows. Now, this book is good for you guys that like more like historical, steampunky stuff. This is definitely my favorite series out of all of them. I actually started with this series, and this is a good one to start with if you are looking into for an introduction, but you have seen the adaptations of The Mortal Instruments and you didn't really like those. If you want to try getting into it with this series, I would definitely recommend that. This series has a lot of literary references, so if you're like me and you're a big classics reader, you'll get a lot of the references in here too. I actually found out this morning that this is being made into I believe a TV series by BBC, and I'm very excited about that. I've been waiting for the 8 years that I've been following this entire saga, so that's very exciting. So if you're gonna get into the series, you can get into it now and then watch the TV show when it comes out. This is the 3rd series, and this one's called The Dark Artificers. The first book in this series, called Lady Midnight, is set in present day in Los Angeles, and it follows 2 Shadowhunters named Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorn. This book starts by introducing the Blackthorn family and their struggles within the Shadowhunter world to fit in, to cope with the loss of their parents, of their brother. This series comes right off of the end of the last book in the Mortal Instruments series, and where these 2 main characters are introduced. Emma Carstairs, one of the main characters, her parents were actually murdered in the war that occurs at the very end of the Mortal Instruments series. So this first book is her looking to uncover and avenge her parents' death. Now, what she finds isn't necessarily what she wants to find. Now, this one's interesting to me because it's the first time that out of the Cassandra Clare books that we've gotten a perspective from teenagers, from main characters that have been Shadowhunters their entire lives. I really love the characters out of the series, almost more than any of the others, just because they are so complex, and even though there are a ton of kids in the Blackthorn family, they're all very unique and different in their own way. And out of all of the Cassandra Clare series, this one is definitely up there for representation within the LGBT community. The fourth series in the Shadowhunter Chronicles is called The Last Hours, and the first book, Chain of Gold, right here, actually just came out in March, so she's still going, and she has a fifth series planned as well. This series is set in Edwardian England, so it's set almost directly after the events of Clockwork Prince that was set in the Victorian era. And these are, no spoilers, but these are the main descendants of the characters from the Infernal Devices. And because she's Cassandra Clare, she can never stop at just these series, so she also has written some offshoots of those main series with specific characters. You have the Bane Chronicles, which talks about the past of one of the main characters and actually in all of the series. And talks about how he got to where he was and how he fits into the modern series. Tales from a Shadowhunter Academy follows one of the main characters from the Mortal Instruments as they go through their transition to become a Shadowhunter. I can't tell you which character it is because that would be a spoiler. There's also stories in here about some of the other characters from the Mortal Instruments series. And Ghost of the Shadow Market is yet another bind up of short stories about a specific character from the Infernal Devices trilogy, which again I can't tell you who it is because that would be a spoiler. But this character goes through a heck of a lot, and they deserve their own book. So, finally, we have the Eldest Curses trilogy, and I lost my dust jacket to this one, but it follows one of the main couples from the Mortal Instruments as they have their own offshoot of adventure and danger and mystery. The first one is set in the middle of the Mortal Instruments series. The second one's coming out in September, and it should be set between the events of the Mortal Instruments and the Dark Artificers. Well, the biggest question that's always asked by readers of Cassandra Clare books is, what order do you read them in? So my biggest recommendation, and Cassandra Clare's as well, is always read them in publication order. I read the entirety of the Infernal Devices first, so there's not necessarily any major spoilers there, but you have to be careful when you are reading the end of the Mortal Instruments series. There's tons of information about this online. If you Google the publication order, you can find it easily. I'll put a list at the end of this video that is publication order. So if you're interested, you could take a picture of that and follow it. Overall, I cannot recommend Cassandra Clare enough. She's one of my favorite authors of all time. I've been following this series for 10 years, and I will continue to follow it until she stops writing. The way that she interconnects all of these stories and all of these timelines is just really cool to see. If you're someone that likes, finding Easter eggs, finding different details that maybe other people hadn't noticed, if you're super into the Marvel comic universe or the DC comic universe, if you like finding weird connections like that, this may be the series for you. If you like teen paranormal romance or supernatural in general, this is definitely the series for you. It's urban fantasy, so that means it has high fantasy elements, especially when you get to the Dark Artificers. It does have high fantasy elements because the Dark Artificers is more about the Fae side of things. But it also is set in urban populations, so you get the gritty atmosphere of the city and the excitement and the danger, but you still get those aspects of paranormal that you know and love. These books also have humor, they have friendship, they have romance, they have all the different kinds of bonds that you love to see and that you can relate to. I know that was a lot to take in, but I'm happy that you guys watched until the end. If you're here, thank you. I'm excited for you to read this series. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're safe, and I hope your summer is going great. If you are bored like me, staying at home all the time, this is definitely the world to get sucked into because it will take forever for you to read through all of it. This has been Fayetteville Reads for 6th grade and over. If you guys are interested in more of our teen programming, please go to faylib.org/calendar. I hope to see you next time. Bye!